Where boy Brighton at? Where my boy Brighton? Listen, y'all don't see Brighton in the building right now. Y'all know where Brighton at.
Indiana. A Greenfield man is accused of coercing underage girls to send him nude photographs and videos on social media. He's also reportedly traveled out of state to meet up with underage girls and is accused of sexually abusing a 12-year-old. And there's many more victims out there, the police believe. He said, "I groomed this little girl." He allegedly wrote that. He even bragged about meeting up with the 12-year-old and talked about his desire to rape some of the underage girls or their friends. "I think 12 is my absolute favorite," he said. "I'm gonna own these girls," he boasted in another message. This is 21-year-old Bobby Cypress Linhart. He faces federal charges of coercion and enticement of a minor to engage in illegal sexual activity, sexual exploitation of a minor, distribution of child sexual abuse material, and possession of child sexual abuse materials. Linhart is accused of using social media profiles to not only engage in sexually explicit conversations with these girls, but to coerce them into sending him nude and sexually explicit images and videos of themselves. Linhart's victims range across Indiana and include minors from Rushville, Plymouth, Fort Wayne, South Bend, and Union Mills. On March 19th, police searched Linhart's Greenfield home. In addition to finding a 9mm handgun, police reportedly found numerous drugs and electronic devices containing images of child sexual abuse material. If convicted in federal court, a judge will determine the length of Linhart's prison sentence. See ya, Chomo! Let's head over for a vacation to Honolulu. Well, not quite. 4 men were arrested there in Maui for charges related to sexual offenses against children online. Police arrested 30-year-old Keon Makan, 21-year-old Eugene Cadano, 44-year-old Anthony Perry, and 18-year-old Jake Morey. Officials say they were arrested and charged for allegedly trying to meet up with whom they thought were minors to engage in sexual acts with them, but instead they were greeted by, that's right, the police. The arrests were a result of Operation Kiki Shield, a team of law enforcement personnel from around the state. Their goal is to locate and arrest those who commit sex crimes on children and to rescue victims of child sexual exploitation and abuse. Good job, Hawaii. Over to New Bloomfield, a mid-Missouri man was arrested in Boone County for possession of child sexual abuse materials on March 20th. This is Melvin Joseph Lahr, a 77-year-old. He was arrested Wednesday morning according to a Facebook post from the Boone County Sheriff's Office. The Jefferson City man was served a search warrant in an ongoing investigation regarding the possession and distribution of child sexual abuse materials. The materials were allegedly found during the search of Lahr's electronic devices, with many of them depicting minors under the age of 12 years old. Materials were being sent and received at Lahr's encrypted email account, and the man allegedly stated that he had sent over 100 of those, and he's been viewing child sexual abuse material for over 30 years online. Investigators were able to confiscate the materials as well as other online accounts that he had made and that had actually sent and received them as well. He's being charged with possession of child sexual abuse materials and the promotion of child pornography, according to the Boone County Sheriff's Office Facebook post. Poplar Bluff, Missouri. An investigation into inappropriate images of a child led to the arrest of a Poplar Bluff man. Police say they arrested 46-year-old Jason Hicks Simpson on Wednesday, March 20th. He faces multiple charges, including possession of child sexual abuse material, as well as rape and sodomy. What a sick individual here. Investigators say several phones were seized as part of the investigation, and they used the images and videos to identify Hicks Simpson as the alleged offender. He's currently being held at the Butler County Jail with no bond. See ya, Chomo. 43-year-old Tristan Foster of Covington pled guilty to sexual battery involving a victim under 13, aggravated crime against nature with a victim under 13, and indecent behavior with juveniles with a victim under 13. He was sentenced by District Judge Vincent Labello to 35 years in prison without the possibility of parole. The case was prosecuted by the Assistant District Attorneys Tiffany Dover and Amanda Gritton. Good job. In April 22, a mental health professional at Pineview Middle School called the Louisiana Department of Child and Family Services after a student disclosed an incident of sexual abuse. The then 11-year-old student reported to a teacher that she had been sexually abused by a father of a friend during a sleepover. Well, see you in 35, Chomo. Now down to Louisiana, where a former Ascension Parish Sheriff's deputy, that's right, another cop, he's been ordered to spend nearly 20 years behind bars after being sentenced for receiving child sexual abuse materials. The U.S. Attorney Ronald C. Gothy Jr.'s office announced on Thursday, March 21st, that District Judge John W. DeGravels sentenced Todd Eric Tripp, this Chomo, he's 35, of Sorrento, to 234 months in federal prison, following his conviction for receipt of child sexual abuse material. Officials state Tripp must serve 5 years of supervised release after being released from prison, and of course he's got to complete sex offender treatment and pay $9,000 in restitution and register as a sex offender upon his release. Over in Tennessee, a man wanted for child rape in Nashville is now in custody following a license plate reader hit in Oklahoma. Yeah, he thought he could get away, but we got him. The Metro Nashville Police Department says Seth Taylor, a 38-year-old of Madison, was indicted by a grand jury earlier this month following the repeated rape of a 12-year-old girl years ago. According to detectives, the victim visited a health center in July of 22, where she disclosed she'd been raped multiple times over the last year. Taylor was identified as a man who she had close contact with through a relative. The Youth Services and Violent Crimes Division's detectives recently attempted to locate Taylor when Brentwood police advised his vehicle hit on their systems. That's according to the Metro Police. He was then located Thursday morning through data at an Oklahoma City apartment complex and was arrested by Oklahoma City Police Department. The Metro Police report he will be extradited back to Nashville in the coming days, where he faces 5 counts of rape of a child, 2 counts of aggravated sexual battery, and 1 count of continuous sexual abuse of a child. I know that last count alone carries 25 to life. And with the rest of them, guess what? See ya, Chomo. Norwood-based daycare center owner. That's right, a daycare center owner. Silfredo Castillo Martinez, a 34-year-old, he pled guilty on Thursday, the 21st of this month, before U.S. District Judge Paul A. Engelmeyer to superseding information charging him with sexual exploitation of a child and production of child sexual abuse material. And this is from federal prosecutors. So Fredo Castillo Martinez exploited the trust placed in him as a daycare provider by sexually abusing one of the minor children there under his care and by forcing that child to perform sexual acts on him. Additionally, Castillo Martinez had nearly 10,000 images depicting child sexual abuse in his possession, all the while caring for children on a daily basis. Federal prosecutors said Castillo Martinez pled guilty to just one count of production of child sexual abuse material and sexual exploitation of a child, and the rest were dropped in a plea deal. He's carry a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years in prison and a maximum up to 30 years. They said he is scheduled to be sentenced by Judge Engelmeyer in June sometime. We'll keep you updated on this, Chomo. A former Newton Falls man who is currently serving a 10-year-to-life sentence for sex crimes must now spend even more time in prison after being convicted of various child sex charges. Court employees tell 21 News, where I got this story from, that Mark Thompson was sentenced to a concurrent sentence of 4 to 6 years in prison on 3 counts of illegal use of a minor in nudity-oriented material or performance, as well as 1 count of gross sexual imposition. This sentence is to be served concurrently with his sentence of 10 years to life in prison in a separate case from 2019, where Thompson was convicted of rape, gross sexual imposition, and illegal use of a minor in nudity-oriented material or performance. He must also register as a Tier 3 sex offender 4 times per year for the rest of his life. According to the Trumbull County Prosecutor's Office, this case is connected to the 2019 case, which initially had 2 victims. However, a third one came forward later. That third victim, who is now 20 years old, appeared in court on Wednesday and detailed Thompson's actions and the lasting impact that they had on her. It's pretty devastating. Prosecutors say Thompson inappropriately touched her and also took inappropriate pictures of her while she slept. See ya, Chomo. "40-year-old Christian Paul Lachetta has been convicted of a sex offense which allows for community notification. This sex offender has advised the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office that he will be living at 1583 North Rose Quartz Drive, Prescott, Arizona. That's right, so anyone around there in Prescott, Arizona, be on the lookout for this Chomo. He might be a little dangerous to your children. On 6/27/23 in Maricopa County, this Chomo was convicted of 2 counts of attempted sexual exploitation of a minor, and he was sentenced to probation. And you know what happens to people like this? These Chomos who get probation and a little light slap on the wrist, they think it's okay to just go out and do it again. And they leave it up to the public to watch him. It's nuts. It's ludicrous. This guy needs to be behind bars as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, this notification is not intended to increase fear. Rather, it's my belief that an informed community is a safer community. A joint operation by the New Milford Police Department's Detective Bureau and Community Outreach Officer, in collaboration with the State of Connecticut's Adult Probation Unit, led to the arrest of a local man for failing to comply with sex offender registry requirements. That's right, listen up, Chomo. You have to obey the rules. You are put on the registry for a reason, because you're a Chomo. You can't stay away from little kids. So guess what? No internet for you. Be home at 9 o'clock at night. That's right, you got it. More than that, register your address. Give me your phone number. We need to know where you live. Thomas Bogle, born on September 29th, 92. Now, this Chomo was taken into custody on March 20th after a series of compliance checks were conducted throughout the town. Vogel faced an active warrant and has been charged with 4 counts of violating that registry. That mandates the registration of individuals convicted of certain offenses against minors. That's right, Chomo. And following his arrest, check this out, Vogel was released on bond. Okay, so you got all those active warrants out for you and they're just going to let you go. Don't understand this. He's scheduled to appear in Torrington Superior Court on March 28th at 10 in the morning to respond to those charges. Hope they find you guilty on all those counts and send you away for a long time. You look like you need it.
Bryden, you're right. It's a step in the right direction.
One for Rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Oh, who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6. And I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
When a child experiences trauma, they can be stripped of their ability to imagine. But imagination is colors. All the colors. Imagination is freedom. And whatever you want it to be. But a child without imagination is not a child at all. Will you help defend our right to imagine?